Hello, welcome back to Pao Talks. I hope y'all had a good Halloween weekend. I know I did. I have lots of candy to show for it. Um, it was good this year. This year it was good. Lots of good candy. Um, Stocked up. But yeah, welcome. I don't know about y'all, but I hope you guys saw some interesting costumes. Shout out to my favorite costume of the night, which was a Lorax holding an amazing Trufala tree. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's the tree that the Lorax was trying to save. But yeah, I hope y'all had a good weekend. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't realize this year Halloween weekend fell at the same time as daylight savings time. So I didn't even notice the switch or felt the switch until the very next day. And I was like, crap, I didn't sleep too well because of that. So it threw me off. But that being said, I wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite person real quick, which was, well, one of my favorite persons on earth, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is my favorite astrophysicist. And I'm always learning from him. I do listen to his podcasts and I'm always intrigued about outer space and how everything works. And he has such a soothing voice on how to process science and how it all works. He definitely reels you in. But yeah, because of daylight savings time, I was thinking about it and I was like, why the hell do we still practice this? Because I don't know if y'all know, but in 1794, Ben Franklin was the one that came up with it. And honestly, it was all just due to saving candles. And I was just like, well, we don't really use candles anymore. So why are we still practicing this? Um, yeah, about 70 countries practice this, mostly in North America and in Europe. But other than that, those are the only people that practice it. And in the US, I believe the state of Arizona doesn't practice this anymore. So I really don't understand the purpose. I feel like it throws off my whole, I don't know, it takes me a while to adjust. And like it gets dark and yeah, it's a lot. I don't like it. And then where we're located or where I'm located, it's officially fall. And I'm finally feeling the fall weather, sweater weather. I love it. And I love me some coffee on top of that. So I don't know if y'all know this too, but pumpkin spice, you know how when you go order your coffee and you want pumpkin spice lattes or flavor, um, it's actually there's actually no pumpkin in it. It's just a mix of a bunch of seasonings, and it's basically cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, and yeah, no pumpkin. So I don't really understand why they call it pumpkin spice when there's nothing pumpkin related to it. But yeah, and so we're gonna get into our first segment, which is a show I've been watching. And this week, I kind of caught up a little bit on Married at First Sight. Okay. I will say I am a devoted Married at First Sight fan. It's been going on for 19 seasons, and I've watched every single one of their seasons. And for those of you who do not know what Married at First Sight, I'm sure you can kind of see what the name is all about. But they basically take three professionals, supposedly. Okay. And these professionals basically um, pair couples based on their personality and their lifestyle. And they basically say, okay, we believe these two people will be successful based on their backgrounds. Um, and then they let them know, like, hey, we found you your partner, and you're going to get married in 2 weeks at the altar. And you can either say yes and continue with the journey or say no at the altar. So that's usually what they do. Most of them really do want to take the leap of faith and marry at first sight. But I just don't like the way it's been turning out because I don't know if y'all notice with reality shows, like after so many seasons, you almost feel like it's not real anymore. It's not authentic because most people that come onto the show, they just want to get famous, you know. But this particular show, I have a little bit more faith on because, so the way they set it up is basically that you meet at the altar, you get married, you go straight to the honeymoon, you're out there for like a week, And then they force them to move in together for 8 weeks. And then they have to make the decision if they want to stay married or if they want to get a divorce. So it is a little bit more, it's hard to fake it for that long when you're just trying to get famous, but some of them do it. Um, and I just feel like this last 2 seasons, they haven't been really doing a good job on the way they pick these couples. Some of the couples that they put together, they just don't make sense to me. And these are supposed to be professionals. Like, that's like putting someone that's a vegetarian with someone that only eats meat. And they be doing this. But everything else, they match up. And I'm just like, no, that's not gonna work. Like I could feel like just from seeing them, like it's not gonna work. Or, obviously like some of them like it's really important for them to have like a physical attraction at some point. And like everything that they say, like, hey, this is not my person, like physically, I'm not into this type of person. They tend to match them with that because everything else on paper matches, which I guess it makes for good TV. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the honeymoon process could probably help them better if they don't make them interact with the other couples. Because while they're at the honeymoon, they send all the couples that do decide to get married to the honeymoon. I feel like they make them interact too much, which ends up creating drama between them, or they end up gossiping about each other's partners, and it causes more friction. But I don't know. I do like the show. Like I believe the first, 10 seasons were pretty good. Um, but I was, you know, I like to research. I was looking into it, and in the 19 seasons, only 11 couples have stayed married. 11 have succeeded. Now, mind you, every season they have about 5 couples. Every season, I would say 5 couples, and only 11 have made it through 19 seasons. That's not a really good average, like, not a good success rate. But then it made me think about arranged marriages, and they normally don't get divorced. They really do push through, but I think it's more based off of religion. Why they can't get divorced is more religion based. Um, and I just feel like 8 weeks is not enough. Like if I include the honeymoon plus the 8 weeks of living together, I don't think that's enough. Like I don't think 9 weeks would be enough for me to say, okay, this is my person or this is not my person. If anything, I would make them really interact with their families and friends and their day-to-day lives and really put effort into, at least more effort that they make them do. Because when they're living together and they're living like in an apartment, um, they make them interact with these other couples. And sometimes these other couples, if they're going through stuff, they meddle in each other's process. And I think that messes it up. At least for me, it messes it up. But I'm just trying to, I don't know, keep up with the show. I've been a big fan of it for so many years. And I know they have a lot of other good shows that helps couples be together, but that's one of my favorite. Maybe they need to change the coaches and the ones that pick the couples, because I feel like that's also a problem too. Or maybe like each, I guess with these shows, there's people go in there with weird intentions. I feel like now reality shows about love, they're becoming more, I just want to get famous. I want my 15 minutes. I don't know. I feel I would, if I was in my 20s, if I was in my 20s, I would totally do it. Definitely would do it. Because I think you just never know. And I think it would be a cool experience. I think that's another reason why they do it too, because it's a cool experience. But if I was in my 20s, I would definitely do it. I feel like my family would know that I would do it. And that one's a little, I don't think I would do, there's this other show, it's called like Love is Blind. I don't think I would be as excited to try that show versus this show. But Married at First Sight, I think it's like almost like jumping into a pool, and you're just like, oh my God, I hope it's not cold. And it's mostly likely cold. But yeah, I've been watching that show, and I do recommend this show. I would say start anywhere between season 1 and 7. Don't start with season like the most recent. Don't do it, because I feel like season 19 and 18, it was all about just people getting famous. Like they just literally played America. They straight up played America. And but if seasons 1 through 7, those were like the best, the most genuine seasons. So I definitely recommend that show. Um, I like to watch a little bit of everything, so every every week when I come on here, it might be a movie, it might be a show, it might be a drama series, true crime. I don't know. It'll be something different every week because I'm constantly, keeping up and try to keep myself entertained and trying to see what's out there. But I am going to move on to the next segment, which is when I was younger. And when I was younger, once upon a time, your girl did lived in Vegas. It was my first time ever going to Vegas. And again, another young and stupid moment. um, but I was excited because I never been to like a city like that, and I wasn't able to gamble at the time, so I didn't have to worry about gambling. But I moved there. I moved there with my aunt at the time, and she was going back and forth between Vegas and a different city she lived in. And I remember we stayed at her father-in-law's house. And man, I partied for like a good month because when you're in Vegas, you want to see everything. And I partied for a good month. And then I was like, dang, I need money. I need to get a job. And I was just like, okay, well, let's see what I can do, because during the day you get bored too. It's hot as hell. And I just I remember I asked her father-in-law if he can help me find a job. And most people in Vegas, at least that live within like for sure 10 miles, you're working on the strip at a hotel, doing something within the Vegas strip, right? So I wanted to make some quick money, easy money. And her father-in-law hooked me up with this job at a hotel. And basically I would deliver flowers to like the rooms, and like the rooms that were like costly rooms where you wanted flower arrangements, and I would deliver them and place them wherever they needed to be placed. And so I was basically like the flower girl of the hotel. I would go to the florist and be like, hey, this room needs this or whatever. And so that was interesting too. um, I actually made tips off of delivering flowers in these nice beautiful hotels. um, but yeah, I had like gotten really used to working there for like a couple of weeks. And so I don't know if you guys ever been to Vegas. The hotels are super huge. They're like really, really big. Um, and most of these hotels have parking garages. Okay. And most of the employees either have designated parking, or you're parking in the parking garage or walking to wherever you work. And I remember I had borrowed my aunt's father-in-law's car to get to work because he had called in sick. So I was like, hey, can I just take the car? I got to go to work. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I was like, okay, let's go. And I remember that day I decided to park in the parking garage. I think I was running late, so I decided to park in the parking garage. Um, and I was trying to rush into it, but I don't know, like it's almost kind of like I knew something was wrong that day. But so I went inside to work just like a regular day, delivered flowers, and they paid pretty. It was an hourly job. It was nothing crazy. Like you definitely made more money off the tips than your hourly rate. At that time, I'm trying to think. I think they were paying like 18 bucks an hour, which this was like 15 plus years ago, which I guess is a lot to some people. but not in Vegas because Vegas is really expensive. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, so I went to deliver all these flowers, had a full day of work, and over there for flowers, you normally I worked a night shift. Also, I didn't work the day shift. I worked the night shift because that's where the money was at. Like that's where the tips were at. Um, and I remember I got off of work like at maybe like 2:45, 3 in the morning, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I I told the girls bye. I'm grabbing my stuff, and like over there, like you have like they give you a uniform, right? Like that you work there, that you're an employee. So I'm heading out, and honestly, my first thought was like, oh, I parked in the employees parking, and then I remember I was like, crap, I parked in the garage, the parking garage, because I was super late. And so I was like heading that way. So I told the girls, because we normally all walk together. I told the girls, I was like, hey, I'm parked in the parking garage today. I was running late. And I'm walking, right? And I'm walking to the parking garage. And I remember I got off like on the third floor, and I'm just walking, I have my purse, and it was like silent. And I'm turning, and I can see the car within like my view. And out of nowhere, someone grabs me from behind, like legit grabs me, like covers my mouth, wraps their arms around me, dragging me like with full force. And I was like, I think my instinct was to fight. At that time, I was a fighter at that time. So my instinct was to fight. And I remember he like just tried to literally bang me on the floor so I could, like, I don't know, not fight him so much. And I had my purse, and I think he got caught up into my purse, and I'm screaming. Like I thought I was gonna. I think I froze for like a hot second, but I'm screaming, and I don't know how I managed to like turn, but I was on the floor. I turned and I kicked him, and I got up quickly. I think like part of my uniform ripped, and I ran so fast out of that parking garage. I can feel him right behind me, but I ran. Oh, like at the time I still had long hair, but I was running so fast that it's almost like he was reaching for me, and he grabbed a little bit of my hair, and I'm pretty sure he yanked that hair out, because in the process of running for my life, like scared, he yanked my hair out, but I didn't even feel it. I didn't even care. And I made it to the stairwell. Um, and I think I went like straight down, like as quickly as possible. And I opened the door, and thankfully it was like the hall. And I'm still screaming, like, help, like somebody help me. And I can hear him like open the door right behind me. Like he was maybe seconds behind me, and there was security. I saw security at the end of the hall, and I'm like screaming. I was like, someone's trying to take me, like someone's trying to like hurt me. And the security like ran like towards me, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I could not even explain to him what was going on, because I started just automatically like crying out of control, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was literally was about to be taken. Like this dude, I definitely remember he had like gloves, and it I did not want to go back into the parking garage. So I ended up telling the security what happened. They managed to see the guy like in the camera, and he was just like waiting. I don't know if he was just waiting for me, or he was just waiting for any random girl, but he was definitely waiting for a girl. And I was smaller back then. I didn't weigh much back then. Um, I did not expect, I think he was expecting most girls to freeze, and I didn't. But the security like ended up helping me, and we had to call my aunt, and somebody had to come pick me up, because I didn't even want to go inside the parking garage. And I literally quit the job the very next day, because I was just, it was too much. Like it shook me. It shook me to my core because I was like, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. But it was just a horrible experience. I think maybe like a week later from that experience, because I was really scared and paranoid that he was watching me or something, um, that I ended up moving from Vegas. I'm like, screw this. Like, this is not for me. Like, I'm not about to get kidnapped or killed or any of that. So that was definitely a scary, scary time. And I was just, you just never know when it can happen. And I'm a lot more cautious. And then Vegas, I feel like you expect that in Vegas, but you also expect like a lot of people and like crowds, and someone's always in the parking garage, and someone like, but that day it was like nobody was in the parking garage. Nobody. It was like you can kind of hear crickets. So it was very odd, almost like he knew. But I don't think he did because I was late for work. So I was just like, I don't know. It was I definitely say check garages. You just never know. Now when I go park in garages, because this happened to me 15 plus years ago, when I'm walking in like car garages or parking garages, um I hold a key between my knuckles because it still messes with me from that day. I'm telling you, these life lessons. Lord have mercy. Like, oh, sometimes even when I see like men with gloves, it just like gives me a bad vibe. Like, mm, mm-mm. Like those things were just imprinted in me. And I don't, I think that's sometimes I'm so cautious about going to bigger cities because of that. It's just, you just never know who's watching. Super, super scary. Um, so if you ever go to Vegas, just, uh, I would say go with a group because you just never know. And yeah, I mm. And I've been back to Vegas, but I've had a better memorable time. But that was my first experience, and here I was thinking I was gonna end up working at a Coyote House or something, Coyote Ugly House. But no, I got that experience, and I was like, I'm out of here. Goodbye. But we're gonna move on to our questions. We're going to move on to some questions. I do have a request on advice as well. So we're going to see how that goes. And we're going to get into our first question. Let's see. And our first question is from G_Brenda. Says, what's one conspiracy theory that piques your interest the most and why? Conspiracy theory. So I mean, most people are like, do you believe in the Illuminati? And that is very far fetched to me. I feel like, no, I don't. But the one that kind of throws me for a loop is the Princess Diana death. Like, I really do believe she was murdered. I believe it was a setup. Like, just knowing what the royal family went through with her, which they were not a fan of, I definitely think it was a setup. Like, I feel like they were like, oh damn, you got away with it, because she was able to kind of get away from the royal family and divorce um a home dude, and I guess maybe he felt some kind of way about it, and they just didn't like the fact that she was just happier away from them, and she just wanted her kids. And the fact that she went for like a security guard, they were just like, nah, you're causing way too much. And I feel like at that time she was more relatable and more famous in the royal family. And I think they hated that. They were like really jealous of how much people loved her. And I will say, I think even at that time, people loved Diana more than the queen herself. She was just so relatable. Like you could tell she kept that shit 100. Like she did not, like she followed the protocol to an extent. And anytime they try to do low blows on her, she was snappy. She was snappy, and she was on the forefront of fashion too. Like she was not just your average royal. So yeah, I do believe it was all set up, which is sad because her sons, very, very sad. Oh, we're going to move on to our next question. I hope you like that answer, Brenda. What is your favorite holiday and why? Mhm. So I do love Halloween, but my favorite holiday is Christmas. I love Christmas. Oh my God, Christmas brings back so many good memories. And I just, I love the decorations. I love shopping, obviously. No, I do love the decorations. I love how much we gather during Christmas time. I love spending time with my family. I mean, I really, really look forward to hanging out with my family. Sometimes we do like um, gingerbread house competitions or like a bake off competition or a dessert competition. And I like the game that we play as a family, which I always look forward to. I think it's called a white elephant, or I think it's that, where like we all bring a gift and we put it in the center, and then like we each get a number, and then like you can steal. Yeah, that's always a fun game. And then of course the food, so good, so good. So um, my upbringing was in a blended family between Latinos and Caucasians. So I get to celebrate like your typical Caucasian or American Christmas on the 24th. And it's very traditional, which I love. I love tradition. And then right after, I go into like my Latina mode, and it's like we party all night and eat good food. Um, and I love that. And then we open presents in the morning. So yeah, I do love it. I love all the Christmas movies. I definitely love the weather too during that time. And let's see what else. My gosh, there's just so many reasons to love Christmas. Uh, I get to see family that I haven't seen in a while too. So yeah, it's fun times. I love Christmas. Christmas is the best. Um, let's see. Next question. Oh, I should not do that. Single adults with children in dating scene. When to introduce children. So single adults with children and the dating scene. Well, I definitely think it's harder for single adults with children to date because we have to be more um, careful about who we date. You can't just be dating whoever. And if you do, like, I'm not here to judge, but it's just, I feel like you don't want to just bring anybody around your kids. And I think for single adults with children, for anyone that's dating them, I would say be respectful of the single mom's time because I promise you, she'd rather be home in bed, Netflix and chilling, than getting all dolled up to go on this crappy date. So if you really want to date a single mom, I please make sure you really want to date because it takes a lot of effort and wasted time. Like so it's like don't do it unless you really want to date a single mom and you know what comes with it. And as far as like when to introduce children, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Um, I think definitely a few months with this person. Me personally, I would say 6 months. 6 months. You know what it is? I would definitely say 6 months because everybody knows the first 6 months is like the honeymoon phase. Everything is so beautiful. Everything is so nice. It's after the 6 months that you really see if this person's going to be in there for a little bit longer than the honeymoon phase. So I would say just to play it safe, 6 months. Yeah, because that's a lot. Your kids are very important. So you don't want to just bring anybody around them. So 6 months. I would give that. Okay, so this is in Spanish. I'm going to translate it really quickly in my head. Um, What can I do so my partner is more honest and they can stop lying to me? Oh, so this is kind of okay. So, like, and the more I ask him, he'll deny it. Okay. So, this situation is basically this is an advice. Most of the time, I don't know how this works for men, but if a woman is asking for you to be honest on a situation, and I just don't know how it works for guys. If a woman's asking for honesty on a situation and she's asking you to tell her, it's because most likely 90% of the time she already knows about what you're lying. So if anything, you're better off just being truthful, because that's like 90% of the time. Um, but that's just, it's just me saying. Um, but as far as like what can I do as a woman to get this person to be more honest, I don't think you can fix that. That has to come from that person. Um, Definitely has to come from that person. You cannot change people who they are. They're either honest or not honest. So I would say be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And if this person is not being truthful, then I would I would take that as your answer, straight up. Like, you really can't change people on that note. I have an advice question from someone. It's a little long, so I got to tell you guys the situation. It was sent to me. So, okay. This one's good because like I feel like we're going to all participate. Okay. My partner's roommate hates me and I don't know why. Ever since we started dating, the girl has always had something to say. When we first started dating, she told my partner that we needed to let her know when we were going to have sex so she can leave. Like, first off, fuck off. No, that's not right. Second, we are not even loud, I promise you. Then it became a thing that my partner needed to tell her when she was going to sleep at my house. My partner refused because you're not our mom. Now she's saying she needs my location because she needs to know if I'm going to be at their house or not. Um, that is crazy. Why would you need someone's location? And she says it's like having a fourth roommate. And she said, like, I am over there often. Yes, obviously to visit your partner. Can't deny that, but I'm never there a day long and never without my partner. And I'm not there every damn day. I just feel so unwelcome and unwanted over there. I don't even want to sleep there anymore. It's always something that girl's mad about. She says she's happy for my partner, but this is terrible for her. Okay, so that is crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. My first instinct is that that girl probably likes your girl. That's my first instinct. Because asking for someone's girlfriend's location just to see if you're in the apartment, that is insane. And if she's asking like, oh, for you to contribute because you're there all the time, like, what? That's a little bit too controlling. I can't stand humans sometimes. Okay, so like that's crazy. I can't believe people have the audacity to say these things. I would say confront this roommate and be like, "What the hell is your problem? Like, this is my partner. I'm not going to give you my location. You're not going to make me feel uncomfortable." Like, no, she has to be respectful of y'all relationship and cannot be butting in as to how much time you spend there. Like, that's not her place. Like, her roommate's paying for her rent. Why does she need to know all y'all business? Or I wouldn't even be considerate. Like, I would be really petty, and when I'm being intimate with my partner, I'd be louder. Like, this is what it could be. But you know, definitely confront her. Like, even sit her down with your girlfriend. Be like, look, this is not cool. I'm not okay with this. and set really strong boundaries. That's crazy. Hell no. Hell no. That's insane. Um, hell. Oh Lord. Hmm. Let's see. How does alcohol and types of alcohol affect you different during different ages of your life? Okay, so alcohol affects me in a way that it makes me really happy. Okay, so I do like to drink, okay, but I'm not an alcoholic, okay? I do like to drink. It makes me feel really happy. It makes me want to dance. I'm not like an emotional drinker. I definitely get really hyped up and I want to dance and stuff like that. But I have seen, obviously, from me being younger to now, how it has changed. And then again, I feel like every 5 years I have like a favorite drink. Like I remember from ages 14 to like 23, I loved Hennessy for like the longest. I had a high tolerance for Hennessy. And then I switched over to rum. I was obsessed with rum. And I always try to find an alcohol that doesn't make me act crazy, that just makes me feel good, or that it takes a lot of it for me to get drunk or buzz. And then I started drinking wine. I discovered wine, and whew, that was a whole nother wine makes me it's almost kind of like it has like a high, like it makes me really, really happy, and then boop, I go to sleep. I definitely go to sleep. Um, and that changed. And then lately, now I've been into soju. So I definitely feel that it affects as I'm it affects me as I'm getting older. I'm starting to really find that I want to enjoy my drinks more, like taste wise, not necessarily just get a buzz. I really like when I go out with my friends or for dinner, I really want to enjoy my drink. I don't need five of them or 10 of them, but I'll take a good strong drink. Like one of my favorite drinks for dinner, it's called the French 75. I don't drink that to get drunk or buzz. I just really enjoy the taste and the flavor of that drink. So I definitely appreciate bartenders now. I can tell when it's a real bartender, like, oh man, this one's no good. I have to almost teach them how to make the drinks. But it has affected me. I will say this though, ever since I became a mother, I've been better at drinking. I've been better at drinking. I might drink a little bit more often, but I've been better at drinking. Um, because I definitely pace myself and I try not to, go overboard. I mean, it's going to happen maybe once or twice a year, but um, it's definitely helped me to have a better relationship with alcohol. I'm hoping everybody has a better relationship with alcohol. But you never know. You never know. All right, let's see. Um, what are you most passionate about right now? Well, besides, this new project, I am passionate about my and building my family and really setting a strong foundation and kind of like what direction I want to go with them and then spending time with them. I'm trying to build those relationships and actually be more present. Um, I feel like with my siblings, we all had such different directions that sometimes we forgot to check in on each other or we prioritize our friends more than each other. So I definitely feel like I'm working on that and I'm really passionate about it. And then other than that, um, kind of like self love for sure, self love. I think I lost touch of that for a hot minute. And I'm starting to focus on that too. So between family and self-love, those are my two passions that I'm really focusing on, and I feel like it's helping me with everything around me, for sure. So yeah. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be my last question. I mean, I love doing this. I could probably answer questions all day, but this is gonna be my last question. Okay, let's see. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay, what's one thing about yourself that people don't expect or know about you? Okay, so when you first meet me, I get this a lot. I have like a resting bitch face. Like I'm a very like I don't know, just I might look mean or like hard to approach. But the moment you speak to me, I swear I'm like really bubbly. I'm really bubbly and I have so much energy that I feel like my energy is contagious. Like I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of energy to give and share. And I could probably like talk for a long, long time. But I don't think people expect that. If you were to like not speak to me at all, I think most people don't expect me to be this bubbly and friendly and energized. I'm like a freaking energizer bunny that goes and goes and goes. And sometimes I'm like, okay, stop. Like sometimes I want to go to sleep and like I'll be in bed and my mind's still going. So yeah, I don't think people would expect that from me. And I'm really friendly and I love making new friends. And I don't think people expect that from me either. So yeah, I think that's something that people don't know about me. Yeah. And yeah, so that's going to be the end of our night. But I do want to thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on my socials on X and Instagram. And if you guys want to submit questions so I can answer for you guys next week or need some advice on a certain situation, I will be more than happy to answer them for you guys. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Bye.